If you want to have the most extraordinary Passover Seder ever, break free from the limitations of your mind, and gain super conscious awareness to the true nature of reality, then you have to watch this video. Shalom friends, and welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm Rabbi Rome, and we are all about discovering and exploring all of the deepest mystical secrets of Torah, Kabbalah, Chassidut, and how we can actually apply that wisdom to affect complete transformation in ourselves, in the world. And so if that's something that you might be interested in, then please consider subscribing. That would greatly be appreciated. I don't know about you guys, but when I was a kid, Passover in my house was not exactly like the most fun thing ever. On the contrary, it was very, very quite boring. I mean, we loved coming to my grandmother's house. She's an amazing cook. The food was great. But other than that, like reading the Haggadah and like all of like the long drawn out nuances of this thing called the Passover Seder, very boring. Until I discovered the secrets within the Seder. Totally transformed the way I experience the Seder night. Totally took it to that next level. However, I am still utterly and completely and totally shocked to the fact that people still think that Passover is only about tradition. Every year we have a Passover Seder and we recall the tale of the Exodus from Egypt, how God miraculously saved the Jewish people, and now we tell that story to our children, and so they can tell it to their children, and so on, therefore ensuring the continuation of the Jewish people, right? Tradition. However, 20 years ago, when I came to Israel and decided to delve into the mysteries of the Torah, this story is out of this world. So the mystics teach us that the celebration of Passover is not just about remembering something that happened 3,000 years ago in a land far, far away, but that every single year, each one of us has the ability to also come out of Egypt, to come out of our own personal Mitzrayim, to have our own personal exes, to come out of a place of limitation, boundary. Egypt means place of limitation and boundary. To be in Egypt essentially means to be a slave to my own ego, to be a slave to the perception of duality, that I'm experiencing myself to be a separate entity from everyone else. And that causes a lot of problems in my life, because if it's in a relationship, then it's my ego versus my wife's ego. And then it's, if it's career, well, then I have all these internal pharaohs, all these fears and these doubts that are generated by my ego that prevent me from really going out there and doing extraordinary things. And if it's even regarding my health, well, then I'm battling my own ego regarding cravings and desires. And so whatever level you're looking at it, to be in Egypt essentially means to be a slave to ego. And the only way to break free from the attachments and from the enslavement to ego, from the perceptions of duality in the world, is by experiencing the absolute and ultimate truth of the nature of reality, to experience the essence of God, to experience that total and complete oneness. And in that state, then the world does not have so much power over me in the world anymore. Then I'm able to see things for what they truly are. And that happens every year on Passover. On Passover, the miracle of Passover is that in that night, God has elevated us instantly to the state of super consciousness, where in that state where we have this realization of the total oneness of the Creator, and that gets rewired and integrated into our consciousness and totally shifts the way we experience the world. But in order to truly appreciate the type of awareness that we are able to experience on Passover night, the mystics say we have to understand the difference between basic emunah and pro-level emunah. Basic level emunah is the emunah, the faith, the belief that God is within all things, that there is the divine light, call it energy, call it chi, call it whatever you want, but there is this living consciousness, this energy within all things. And that's something that really almost everybody now is catching on to, not even just the Eastern mystics that have known that forever, but even now science is understanding now through unified field theory and quantum physics and seeing things at the quantum level, how everything is connected, how there is this energy that ties everything together. That's what we call Or HaMimale Kol Almin, this light that emanates within all things, the divine light that is within every single man, woman, child, every tree, every stone, every bird, every living being has this light. And so basic level Emunah is the belief that God is within all things. So think of God as this big sun, and that there are rays of light emanating from the sun. And these rays of light, this energy is projecting all of us into existence. That's very nice, but nonetheless, the mystics call that basic level Emunah. Pro level Emunah is actually taking it to a completely different level. It's not believing that God is within all things, but pro level Emunah, the true nature of reality, is that there is actually nothing but God. Ein od milvado. It's not that God is within everything, but that there is actually nothing but God. There is only the essence of the Creator. And don't make a mistake. So that doesn't mean that we actually don't exist. We do exist. But there is this there's this dimension of reality. Reality beyond reality. Where in that state, we exist, but we are not seen. It's as if we are totally invisible, completely nullified and absorbed within the greater essence of the Creator. That's pro-level Emunah. That's what we call Sovev Kol Almin. Ein od milvado. So basic level Emunah is that there is a Creator and there is a creation, and God is emanating His light, projecting us into existence at every moment. But pro-level Emunah is that Creator and that creation is completely absorbed into the Creator right now at this very moment. So, in a sense, we exist, but we don't exist at the same time. We exist, just we are not seen. And every year we are able to attain that pro-level Emunah. We are able to attain the awareness of Ein od milvado. There is nothing other than God. Not basic level Emunah, because Ein od milvado for a lot of people mean that there is no other Creator, there is no other God that is worthy of being worshipped, and that we only believe in Him, and that He is the one that is the source of all life. That's still basic level Emunah, because it's still duality. There's us and there's God. There's Creator and there's created. And so in that sense, we are still separate. It's still a bit of a duality. There's still separation. However, pro-level Emunah is saying that God has not created something outside of Him, but that right now, at this very moment, our existence is completely nullified within the essence of God. And that pro-level Emunah, the Emunah of Ein od milvado, that there is nothing other than Hashem, there's nothing other than the Creator at this very moment. Even though, wait a second, I feel me, I see the world, I see this reality, but nonetheless, at pro-level Emunah, there is only Hashem. I exist, but it's as if I have no expression. I am completely nullified within the essence of the Creator. And that is something that our minds are currently not able to experience at all. Why? Because if I were to be able to experience, if I could experience that, if God could, so to speak, open my eyes and I could see the essence of the Creator from that level, I would cease to exist. I would not be able to see reality. I would not be able to see anything other than the essence of Hashem. Not that I would see godliness in everything, again, basic level Emunah, But pro-level Emunah is that there is nothing other than Hashem. Don't feel bad if you don't get that right off the bat. It's kind of a mind stretch, yes, but nonetheless, the mystics say that on Passover, we actually have the ability to gain an awareness of this non-reality reality, to be able to have the awareness of Einod Milvado. There's nothing other than Hashem. That happens through the matzah. Once a year, the total true nature of reality. Ein od milvado. There's nothing in existence other than Hashem. There is no other reality. That emunah that cannot be comprehended, it can't be understood, actually becomes manifested as this physical bread, as matzah. And when we eat that matzah gets integrated into every nerve and cell, every fiber of our being, rewiring, reprogramming the way we perceive reality. And this new perception gets embedded, gets integrated, rewired into every nerve, every cell, every fiber of our being. Now, it's not a conscious experience, because again, if I was conscious of that, then I would not see a reality, I would not see existence, I would only see the Creator. But it happens at a super conscious level, which means that regardless of who you are, regardless of what level you're on, when we eat matzah, that matzah and the spiritual properties and energy of the matzah gives us the ability to have that emunah of Einod Milvado embedded and integrated into our every nerve, every cell, every fiber of our being, and that works its magic, slowly shifting the way I'm able to perceive reality. Now, what's interesting is that the Talmud says that a baby will not have the mental development enough to call out to father and mother, Abba and Ima, until it begins to eat bread. And it's talking physically, that the physical bread is nourishing the mind of the baby in order to be able to give it the awareness to be able to call out the father and mother. The mystics explain that this is exactly the same thing happening, but at the spiritual level. We are the tinok, we are the baby stuck in this immature state of consciousness, constricted consciousness, mochin de katnut. And when we eat the spiritual bread, when we eat the matzah, now we are able to call out Abba. It's not something that I'm consciously aware of, meaning I don't know exactly what the essence of God is. Just like the baby does not know the essence of who his father is, what he likes, what he doesn't like, how his personality is, all of those things. Baby doesn't know all of those things about his father. He just knows that's Abba. That's my father. And when we eat the matzah, it is that awareness that we have of the Creator. That's Abba. That's the true nature of reality. There is nothing other than that nature of reality. When we eat the matzah, we have that awareness. It gets integrated into every nerve, every cell, every fiber of our being, and it completely frees us from our false perception of the duality of what we are experiencing. And all of the forces of evil, all of the forces of ego have less and less of a stranglehold on me. And I'm not so much affected by what is happening in the world. And the Kabbalists say that you're there on Seder night and you have this extraordinary opportunity to eat that matzah, to be able to have this supra-conscious awareness of the divine. But in order to have that experience, you first have to be able to open up these pathways for that consciousness to flow down. To be able to receive it, we have to open up these pathways, these neural networks, if you will. And we do that by reading the Haggadah. Haggadah in Hebrew also means to draw down, lahagid. And so that's the reason that the more we are telling the story of the Haggadah, all of the stories and all of the details of the Haggadah, every word that we say is like opening up new neural networks, neural pathways, so that when we finally finish the Haggadah and get to the matzah, there are all of these channels that are open, that the mochin, that the consciousness of the matzah can flow to. So the more you tell the story, the more you're into it, the more you use your mouth, the more you tell the story, the more neural networks, the more neural pathways, the more channels there are to be able to receive more of this mochin. The more vessels you have, the more light you will be able to receive. So do not skip on the Haggadah. And then we have the 4 cups of wine. So if the matzah is rooted in the sphere of chokhmah, which is the total nullification and the total ultimate awareness of Ein Od Milvado, the true essence of the Creator, then the wine is symbolized by sphere of Bina. And the Bina is to take that idea and to help it to be integrated and spread out and emanate and flow throughout the entire mind, throughout the entire system. That's like the river that's flowing through these neural pathways that will help the mochin, the energy, the awareness, the consciousness of the matzah to be able to flow into our mind and help rewire every nerve, every cell, every fiber of our being. So there's an awesome opportunity to be able to affect superconscious transformation. And if you want that to happen, then make sure that you are not ruining it by mixing it with chametz, God forbid. What's the difference between matzah and between chametz? Chametz is leavened bread. The difference between matzah and chametz is that matzah is a state of bittul, it's a state of nullification, a state of acceptance. I don't understand, and it's okay. I'm just allowing myself to have this supraconscious experience. The chametz, though, is all about self-awareness. It's all about understanding. It's all about knowing, and it's all about me. And so if we want to be able to break free from the limitations of the false nature of reality, to break free from the limitations of this limited perception of nature and experience God's essence, then I have to take myself, so to speak, out of the picture. And by having chametz, by definition, keeps my mind active, keeps my mind having to understand, I have to know, and does not allow me to transcend to that pro-level emuna, to that level of supraconscious experience. So I just thought I'd share some of those secrets with you. I don't know about you, but when I first learned about those things, it was so incredibly awesome, life-changing. I had no idea about any of these things. I had no idea that the Torah was giving us tools to be able to affect real transformation within ourselves and within the world. And that just blows my mind. And I'm still utterly shocked that there are still people that don't even know about any of these things. They don't even know about this side of Torah, this side of Judaism. They're still thinking it's all about tradition and commemorating the past and history and all that stuff. Now, that's really beautiful, but man, there's so much more to it. So I just thought I'd share that with you guys before Passover. Have an amazing Passover. Have that matzah, read the Haggadah, allow yourself to have this supraconscious experience. And don't feel bad. Don't be like, I'm eating the matzah, it's not working, I don't feel anything. You're not supposed to feel something, okay? Because it's exactly superconscious, because of the nature of the superconsciousness of it, it's not happening at the conscious level, it's happening at the supraconscious level. To be consciously aware of it would just nullify our existence. It's happening at the supraconscious level, and it is happening. No matter who you are, no matter what level you're at, no matter how much you know, no matter how observant or how religious you are, when you have that matzah, things are happening inside of you at the most extraordinary level. Trust it, and you will see the incredible repercussions of that in your life. With that, I wish you again an amazing Passover holiday. If you haven't yet subscribed to the channel, please do so. That would be amazing. And yeah, all the best, my friends. Peace.